Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Counselors Connect. I'm so excited that you guys tuned in to another talk show. So today I am co-hosted with my girl Monifa. She was on our last show.
Hello.
That's all you're gonna say, hello?
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it, April.
That's the love we get on Counselors Connect. No, but we are so honored to have another counselor who is doing her thing. We are so blessed and honored to have the wonderful Miss Shay. Let's give it up. Woo!
Hi.
So Miss Shay, we thank you for your time being a part of Counselors Connect. We know that you're a busy woman, and I know trying to plan this and get you was a lot because you're always in sessions and always meeting with people, but we thank you for taking your time to be with us. I know we were supposed to have another person with us, but she couldn't make it. We hope that you're doing well. Shout out to Tammy. We love you. Sorry you couldn't be here with us today. So we're going to just talk to you. We want you to be yourself and just share with our audience, whoever may tap in, whoever may click on this video. Just, share your experiences and your, what you do on a daily basis, okay?
All right.
So as we begin, I want you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Okay. So I am a mental health counselor with my limited permit, currently studying for my licensing exam. I am a certified yoga instructor and a certified Reiki practitioner. I don't know, what else?
Are you certified in Zumba? Because I do Zumba.
I'm not certified in Zumba, it's the ankle stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes I can't be like.
Okay, yes, a lot of movement. Okay, all right, okay. You certified in anything else? Seem like you got all these certifications.
No, I know, because I have I'm addicted to knowledge. So
Okay.
This is why I do this. I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm like,
Okay.
So are you getting any more certifications? Or?
No, I think I'm done. I think I'm really good. I don't really have much time to be doing anything else at the moment.
When you say you don't have much time, what you mean? Like, where you going?
I don't have the mental capacity
Okay.
to absorb anything new at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understandable. Okay, cool. So what do you find most joy in doing? I know you named a lot of stuff, but everything that you've been certified in, what is your top choice that you would see yourself doing every day?
So I think for me personally, my personal mission or intention is to cultivate a space and help facilitate people's healing so that they can liberate themselves.
Okay.
And I feel like all of these certifications that I have, these are all just different alternative modalities towards healing. So there's a lot of healing in just yoga, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that. Physically, Reiki is energetic, which also emotions come up, things like that, and then the therapy, So I just like to have offerings, because each modality can be useful at different points in your life.
Okay.
So I would say the thing I like the most is just offering an opportunity of healing.
Okay, so I've never tried Zumba. Have you tried Zumba before? I mean, I'm saying Zumba, yoga. Have you ever tried yoga before?
I did once.
Okay.
But like you mentioned before when you were speaking, I kind of tuned myself out of it and told myself this isn't for me, a little too melanated to be here. So I kind of put my mind out of it and maybe didn't take the experience all the way in the way I should have. But I have done it. But
I have a yoga mat, I'm not gonna lie, but I've never tried yoga. But I know from looking at videos and seeing people do it, it is therapeutic, it's relaxing for the mind. Now, do you I know you're certified in it, but are you currently teaching classes?
I'm not currently teaching. I have taught a few classes.
Okay.
I think I think I would just have to feel.
Because I'm about to book you. You about to be booked.
No, I would teach a class.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
we
would.
gonna-
I think I just have to feel like I got to do it more.
Okay.
You know, so where I can feel, I guess maybe more confident in like
Okay.
just like the flow of it. But I have done it.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm open to it.
Well, I would like to try yoga because I've never tried yoga before, and I
I'm
need
down.
I need to clear my mind. I got 2 kids, husband. I need the therapy.
We could do that. I'll set
Yes.
something up. I'll do
So
it.
if anybody's interested in yoga, she's not currently doing it, but we're gonna make her currently do it as of today. So if you need to do yoga, if you need to clear your mind in a therapeutic space, Shay is your go. What's your yoga name? Like, what do you
I
go
don't
by?
have a yoga name.
Do you have a yoga page? Like,
I don't have a yoga page.
We gotta listen. We got.
See, I don't do any of this. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know. I don't
Marketing,
have any of
marketing.
Yes, market.
this. I don't like marketing. This is
Are
my.
you scared of marketing?
Or is it the task of keeping up with it?
It
Like the
could be
new
that.
content.
Right.
Yes, I think it's the
Yeah.
the pressure of feeling like, okay, what else am I gotta keep them engaged? It just seems like a whole nother job
Right.
that I don't want to do. Like
Right.
I probably would hire someone down the line when I'm more organized.
You sound like me.
I'll hire someone to do it, so and then I'll show up.
Right.
But like somebody else got to do the.
I could teach it, but I'm just not certified in this. I don't have opinion. This is really good. You guys feeling comfortable? You guys
Yes,
okay? Miss
yes.
Monifa, you want to answer the next question? We're just gonna flow and talk and chat it up.
So, what made you choose to go into the field of mental health specifically?
I was always intrigued by behavior in general. I do have a very like analytical brain, so I always need to understand like why. Why is this happening? Why is this person acting like this? Like, so I was always intrigued by that. And then my work experience that I've done in my life was with like adults and children with disabilities. So there's a lot of like just behavior modification and how do you get them to, I don't know, just move a certain way in the world. And then I just felt led, by God, like to just kind of go in to actually getting certified and like doing the program. But I realized I was doing this all my life, just unofficially. So I was always the person where everyone just came, talked to me, helped me understand, am I bugging, like all this kind of stuff. So I was just like naturally that person. And I always kind of enjoyed it, but I don't know why it didn't click for me. Like,
Right.
you could probably get paid for this.
Right.
And I was like, okay. Yeah.
So there's a saying online that's always floating around that people who go into the fields of psychology or put a lot of emphasis on things like astrology or spiritual, they have a lot of their own childhood things that they want to resolve and they want to understand. I know that was the case for me. Do you feel like that was the case for you?
Of course. I was like, yes, I feel like this is so true. I think this is so true. Yes. And I think, there's duality, right? Like two sides of each coin, right? The extremes. It's like you go into it like based off your experiences and you're really just trying to understand. So you end up doing all of this stuff. Astrology, numerology,
So she needs to
counseling.
she needs to become a PhD. All these
All
terms.
of these things. Like you go into all of these different avenues to try to understand and process your experiences. And then there's like the other side where sometimes it's just too overwhelming for people and then they just end up, self-medicating and self-soothing in ways that really just don't help them live the most expansive life that they could live,
Wow.
So.
You're a bomb therapist. Look at that. that was good for me. I'm like, whoa, okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. What you're doing every day and the path that you're doing to change people's lives is amazing. Like, you should be proud of yourself sitting here today.
Sometimes I am, but I do realize that, like, and this is new, like, I have to practice this because I am very, like I don't take compliments well or praise or anything like that.
Girl.
And I'm a very like head in the sand. Like I'll have the goal and I will achieve the goal, but like I'm just always kind of like doing, and then sometimes I just never have the opportunity to like look up. Like you actually are where you want it to be, but then you don't even realize it, and I'm like moving on to the next thing, you know. So this is something new that I was like, I should work on this.
Right.
I was like, okay, I am proud. And then, you know, it's very robotic in the beginning because you have to like create a new neural pathway in your brain, right? So the default is to like ignore it. My default is to ignore. Like, oh, yeah, let's do. And to choose the alternative, which would be, okay, you are in your own office. You have made it. So it's very robotic in the beginning, and then the more you keep choosing the alternative, it becomes, you know, the new default.
And you have to accept that you're there. Like, stop making yourself feel like, man, like I don't belong. And I feel like with our culture, we always feel like that, like, oh, we don't belong, or how did I get, like, no, girl, you worked hard, that's why you're there.
Yes.
You achieved that. Black girl, magic girl. And you should be proud.
And I think it's really good at this point in time just in the world.
Yes.
You know, especially for Black culture. Like, there's a lot more, there's a different space than maybe like when we were growing up. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of praise. Like the fact that we had Black Girl Magic, the hashtag, right?
Yes.
Like that was not always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time. Like it's a good time and space for everyone.
Right.
I mean, look at you guys.
Right.
I think it's a little too much, but you know,
Let's get into it.
I think y'all doing the most, but also like, you know, I be like, you know, I be silently cheering y'all on. You know, I'm the worst with like social media and texting and stuff. But I be like, I see it.
But we have our text group, and that's all that
I see it. These chicks, man. Jesus. Oh. And then also I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't.
matters. We like Diddy, like you said earlier. We like Diddy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Exactly.
We are so proud. We are proud of you.
Yes.
Don't even
Thank you. I'm
we're
proud of you
definitely
guys.
proud of
Yes.
you.
I am. I'm like, whew, look at them shining.
Nope.
Also, I'm tired.
But listen, you can't be tired because you got a lot of lives to save, and you got a lot of journeys to help get started.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't have people like you in their lives to sit in the office when they book appointments to meet with you as a therapist. Which I'm going to skip the questions. I'm going to ask you, why do you feel like, because I know a lot of people nowadays are getting therapists, but before, no one really wanted to see a therapist. But what could you tell someone today, like why therapy is so important in their life? Like how would it help them with?
Why do I think it's so important? I don't know how to answer that. I feel like there's many facets of it, right? I think it's just, for me, I think the biggest thing that I have seen that we all struggle with is emotional safety, energetic safety, right? And like being seen. And a lot of us have never really experienced that, you know? Listen, we get what we get, we can't get upset, right? But I think at the core of it, just being humans, right? We all just want to know that, like, I see you, I hear you, like, you matter, like, and I just don't think we have spaces for that. So, like, that is why I think therapy is important, is because that is the opportunity and, like, the one place where you could have that. Granted,
Wow,
therapy is like trying on jeans, right? Because everybody is everybody. But you know, that is something that I cultivate, and like I'm very conscious of it because it was something that was important for me when I started learning just on my own healing journey and my own, you know, having the vocabulary and learning these different things, like learning about the subtle energy bodies, where we store trauma, and what these certain centers
Come on,
hold
girl,
for
teach
us,
us. Listen to you.
So when I learn these things, I'm like, oh, and then it's like, oh, why can't I move past something, right? That's like really bothering me, and it's like, oh, well, because it's just like kind of not safe, you know, like there's like a saying or like a meme or something where it's kind of like, it's really hard to heal in the environment that wounded you, you know what I mean? So, and that could be anything, right? Like, it doesn't always have to be like home, but it's like, it probably is hard to heal relationships when you were in a struggling relationship, or, you know, work trauma and things like that. Like, these things happen.
Yes.
And I just think it's important to have a space to explore it, right? Like, that's really my perspective, is more about exploring yourself, right? Because, you know, I really feel like that's what we're all here for, right? To learn ourselves, have these different experiences, grow and expand, and just also kind of come back home to the essence of who you are. And that's hard because no one teaches us that. Like, nobody teaches us that as kids. Society doesn't promote that, right? It's like, go to school, sit down, answer these questions so you can work, basically. Right? So, like, how do you really know? Like, and one of the questions I always ask my clients, like, especially when they come in, it's like, well, who were you before the world told you who you had to be?
Wow, girl, you gotta write. Sheesh. Woo! We'll write that down. Like, that is so
Insightful.
So tell me, April, who were you before the world told you who you had to be?
Who was I? Like, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. And I think that's why I'm the way I am today. I was a girl that suffered with low self-esteem. I was the one that was not heard, that was not seen, always felt like I was left out. And I feel like that's why my personality is so big now, and I'm always trying to make people feel heard, make people feel seen, and why I even went into this field, to let people that may struggle what I went through as a young person, to pull out the greatness in them before they get trapped in their mind that they got to be quiet and just suffer in silence. And but no. So that's who I was. But now look at me today.
So so I think this is beautiful what you're doing, right? So like before the world told you, right? So when we come in, we're all sovereign.
Yep.
We are sovereign beings. So like, you didn't come in with low self-esteem, right?
Yep.
So like, before the first impact and the first cut, which is always the deepest, who were you before that, right?
Wow.
So like, for me, I think before all of, you know, my experiences and struggles and whatever, I think before that, at my core and at my essence, I was probably like, I don't know, like a dreamer, like a, you know, like I was probably like this, cause I was like this, I don't know, I feel like it's very hard to really remember, right, based off my just journey, but I feel like at the core of it, like, I was like just fun and very inquisitive and, you know, playful and all of these things, and then, you know, we get conditions, we have experiences, so then the world, right? So as I'm sovereign, I was, you know, like, ooh, dope in real life, right?
Right.
I'm dope in real life. And then the world told me,
Wow.
You're too fat, you're too dark, you're not pretty, you talk too much, you know what I
Wow,
mean?
this is powerful. I'm getting chills. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Mo, who was you? Who was you?
Let's see. Before, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't have a good answer. Don't ask me.
Well, there's no good. Right?
No, I'm trying to think. Before I got molded, I think before I became who I am, or who the world told me to be, I was very, my natural state, as much as you guys see me like out and about, I'm really reserved, because I feel like not everything can be trusted. So I'm very like guarded, just naturally, like, and I protect, just very protective of things, people, my space, energy. And I think as I grew up, I was told, no, you can't do that all the time, and you just have to. So then I became the exact opposite, and it was like, all right, well, here's everything that you ever wanted from me. Here you go, take it, do with it what you will. So, no, that's a good question.
That is. I'm definitely gonna use that question.
I'm gonna ask my kids that.
Yes, like that's, and I feel like even with my kids, like this is a question that I could think about while they're growing up, because they're young, like. Before they even,
my school kids. I was talking about my child.
No, but even my kids, because I have a 13-year-old at home, and like now she's starting to be influenced by others, and she thinks a certain way is okay, like So before the world gets a hold of her, as parents, and this is for the moms out there, like as parents, moms or dads, like we have to really instill in them who they are before the world gets them, because they could be this. Like my son is 5, he's not yet turning over yet, like into, like a teenager, because he still learning from us and adapting to the environment. So while they still have time, I could say, you know what, this is who you are, like don't change, like don't let the world tell you can't do this and blah 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 blah. But we have to be the ones, as therapists, as the game changers, to really instill in them like who they bring that back. Like if you are someone that was a dreamer, like you said earlier, you were once a dreamer. You may have somebody in your office that may have once been a dreamer. We got to make sure they get those dreams back.
Yes.
And they accomplish those dreams.
And that's like the work that I do with them. So I make them think. I ask that question, make them think about it. They come back. A lot of times we don't know, really. Like you're like, I don't even know. And that's fine. And then we slowly just kind of chip away at the different barriers, the different blocks, And I think my biggest thing is about you have choice. We all have choice. Every day we're making a choice. And sometimes people don't even know that they have options.
Right.
Like, and I think that's one of my favorite parts when I'm working with clients, especially when I get like older clients who are like in their 50s or 60s. They've been doing this life for way longer, programmed by systems that are crumbling, that we are witnessing crumbling, right? So they're so conditioned into other things.
Right.
And especially knowing, like, I'm like, well, why do you do this? You told me you don't like this. Why do you do this? Well, because I have to do it. And I was like, you don't. And it's like, what?
Right.
I didn't even know I could say no. And I'm like, because it's a big, difference of generations, and I think that's the part that really fills me up, right? So in my brain, I'm like, how could you not know that you could say no? Right? Because I'm the person like, oh, if I don't love it, I'm not doing it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
Right.
But then it's like being able to let someone know, like, you have a choice and you can say no, and you can choose something that gives you joy, and then they do it, and you can see the joy, and you can see that small opening of liberation, like they just liberated themselves from that particular bondage, right? And I'm like, tears, overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I am so, like it just cracks my heart open every time.
Wow.
Because it's like this one more person that's like freeing themselves. The mental constructs, social constructs, emotional things that we just keep ourselves just, bound.
Right. Wow, this is powerful. I hope you guys are enjoying Counselors Connect with our guest Shay and my co-host Monifa. This is some great conversations. We're going to tap into boundaries.
Okay.
So I want to know, how do you, because I know as a therapist, I don't know if clients are able to call your cell phone or you have like a personal phone that they can call. Like, tell us about boundaries with you and your clients. Like, how do you
Girl,
separate?
I'm like the worst. I am the worstest. So they do have my number, right? They do text me.
Your personal number?
Your cell phone number?
Yes, they have my cell phone number.
So what time they be calling you?
Oh, no, they don't call. They text me.
Okay, so like what's the cutoff time?
I don't have a cutoff time. So this is what I tell clients too, because everybody coming in, I'm asserting boundaries, right? And I just tell people is that like boundaries are not for you to discuss with the person.
Right.
Boundaries are for you, right? So it's about how you choose to move and what you allow. So they could text me whatever the hell time.
But you don't.
I don't respond if I'm
Okay,
like
I
I
see.
don't want to respond. So what, you text me at 11:30? If I'm not responding,
Right.
I don't feel like being a therapist
Okay.
at 11:30.
But-
I'm scrolling TikTok.
But let me ask you this though. So if you have someone that sent you a message and they're suicidal, how would you handle that one?
I mean, I would check in on that,
Okay.
but I don't have that.
Okay. Just wanted to see.
I would check in on that.
Okay.
I'd probably call them. I mean, I did have a client previously that was kind of like
On the fence.
bordering
Okay.
on the fence of that.
Okay.
And it was the most petrifying. Even though they train you on this.
You don't know what to do.
I had an experience in my internship with someone like that, and that was petrifying. It was still petrifying again. Like, I know all the things to do. I did all the things, and then I was still petrified.
I was,
Petrified. Like,
if I could just tap into that a little bit, I had a same situation. This is when I was doing my internship. Well, I'm still in internship now for mental health. I did have a client that was suicidal. I have the Google Voice number that I use, so they did text me from that number. And they was just saying some wild, crazy things. So my supervisor that I had to report to was on vacation. So there was other people that I could report to, but I just didn't feel like they would know like how to handle the situation. So I kind of like just sent over everything to the other person to handle it. But again, I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. We're trained to do it, but again, I was like, I don't know. Like I don't want her blood on my hands, because God forbid if I text the wrong thing, if I called a client and said something to trigger them even more. Like I was just frantic. Although you're trained to know how to handle a situation, but I was like, I don't know. I just get nervous. With those type of situations, especially like if you're not sure, I just,
what has helped me though is, like, I do all the things that we're trained to do, right? And then there is just the separate dialogue that you have to have with yourself.
Right.
Because we all have choice.
Right.
And if this person is choosing this, right? Like, who am I to force you to like stay? Right? Because people lie.
Yes.
You will do all the things. They will sign a contract. Yes, I'm gonna do this.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, my mama. You can call my mama as the backup.
Yes.
And next thing you know, they on News 12, and
Yes.
you are like flabbergasted.
Yep.
People will lie and say whatever.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
know how many people lie in therapy? Oh yeah, I'm doing
That's so
great.
true.
I'm doing great.
That's so true.
You know, and it's just not. I don't know. I mean, so you have to just be okay that like you literally did
What you could
what
do.
you could do, and at that point, it really is out of your hand.
Right. Wow.
See, that's why I don't deal with adults. Can't.
Yeah, it's.
I don't. No.
That's actually good to talk about, like,
'Cause I can't.
She don't want to do adults, and you don't want to do kids. So like, so what's your?
With kids in a situation like that, I'm legally bound to tell your parents. Once you bring that to me,
Right.
you're under 18, that's on your parents. That no longer, not that it's no longer my responsibility, but I have to inform someone.
Right.
If it's an older person, like for you to, now you're gonna question as a therapist, like by saying something, am I fracturing the trust that we've built? I don't have time for all that. That's how I work with kids. And only kids. Only kids.
So am I the only at the table that works with adults and kids? What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
I work with adults and kids, and
I do not do kids. I do not have the bandwidth, the capacity, and my mouth is like a sailor. And it's very hard for me to translate my language into something that they can understand. And also, it's the parents. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My previous job was taking care of people and dealing with the parents, and the parents is always like the worst part. And because my intention and mission is to help people liberate themselves, kids just don't have
the
the
tools.
autonomy. They don't have enough autonomy, right? So like I can help them, they can have an understanding, but then they got to go back to an abusive home, or then they got to go back to a neglectful home,
Right.
And like I just can't do it.
Right.
I just can't do it. So the minute you get out,
Right.
Come
Going
see
back
me.
into-
come see me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come see me.
Sure.
I even take 19 the lowest, because sometimes 18 is like
Yeah.
19, come on. Even if you're still living there, but you get more
Right.
autonomy over your own being.
Right.
So that's I can't. And my attention span is very low. It's very little. It's very little. I can't play. I'm not good
Yeah.
at play.
But you know, and
There's some good games that you can play with them.
I think with kids, one thing about kids, why I choose kids are way more honest than adults are. I don't know if you've
That's
seen that.
true.
Kids will
That's
just
true.
tell you the whole
They
360.
blow your whole.
And you be like, what? Like, you don't have no shame. Like, you just saying that out loud. And they're like, yeah, that's what happened. I'm like, okay. As adults, we're like, you got to kind of hide this. I got to pretty this up. No, kids will, bam. You're like, okay. Sheesh. But
I mean,
I give it to you. Adults are not my cup of tea because I feel like you are who you are and I don't have time for your foolishness. I remember I called you one time and you were saying, like, I love doing what I do because I can tell my clients how it is. Like, your boyfriend beat you and you back with him. I don't have time for that. Me as a person, I'm like, why you should say this to me again? Like, okay, well, then if you want to stay there. I don't care. So that's why I can't work with adults. And I remember you being like, I'm going to tell her flat out. And I was like, but you did.
I do.
Yeah, but if I told you once, like, don't come back and tell me the same problem.
Oh, but see, okay, so you don't have the patience for it.
I really don't. So I have all the
People
patience.
are always gonna talk about the same shit. They're gonna come in and talk about the same shit, but I'm gonna tell them what it is, and I don't know. I like that I could just say what it is.
Right.
And I think that is, granted, it is probably very different. Like, thank God for TikTok, what lets me know that, like, okay, millennial therapists we are different than how they trained us.
Right.
And I have found that it's just more effective, right? And the people that come to me, there is a conflict. You're right. I have a lot of internal conflict at times where it's like, be professional, be this, like, be a robot, right? Like these are not humans, right? So it's like, fix your face.
Right.
All this is happening. Anytime that I'm trying to be like extra buttoned up,
Right.
the clients are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
They're like, are you okay? And then I was like, I'm just...
Try it.
I'm like, I was just trying to give you the space, but also, you told me this.
Right.
You did this. I'm confused.
Right.
It's giving confusion.
Right.
What is it that you want? I don't care. You want to stay? You got punched in the face? You want to stay? We stay. If we stay, we stay. If we leave, then we leave it. If we leave, then we go back. Okay, but I
Right.
need you to just be honest.
Right.
With yourself, because I'm going to go home, right?
Right.
I'm gonna go home. So it's like, I don't know. I just like that.
Right.
And sometimes and that also works for me, like, you just don't fluff it. I'm like, what is my problem? Bitch, this is your problem. I'm like, oh my God, this is my problem. Okay, I'm gonna work on this. And then that's enough. That's all I need. And I just move on. So.
And I find when I work with adults, I don't have that. So I think I need to be, because I think I'm more with adults. Okay, so
Because you-
tell me more. Tell me more. Okay, so what
Have you done therapy before for yourself?
for myself?
For yourself.
I have never. No.
What?
This is why you This is why you're so nervous.
Yeah, I
It's
never-
Because, like, you gotta, I feel like it's definitely important to be on
Okay.
the other side.
I would
see how they feel.
Because you
Right.
wouldn't be as afraid, and
Right.
then you'll be able to really step into your truest essence of how you want to counsel, right?
That's true.
So I've done therapy before, and I've had the sleepy old man falling asleep. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is this?
Right, that's true.
I've had someone that just sat there silent, listened to me talk, and say nothing. And then I've had people that, like, gave feedback and challenged me, and the ones that's like, stop doing this, stop doing this, it pisses you off. And I'm like, oh, stop doing this because it pisses me off. And then, so that was helpful for me,
Right.
and in just my own process, and I just know how I function, right? So I am that type of counselor because
Right.
that is who I am naturally, but that's the way I receive information.
Right.
So I just I'm like,
All right, who wanna sign me up as my therapist? free sessions though, because therapist
No, we can't have
is
dual relationships.
expensive.
You learn that. We can't have dual relationships. Trust me.
All right, guys, I'll look for a therapist then.
well, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
today.
Yes. This is amazing. You're saying a lot of gems that I never would have thought of, like a lot of stuff that we're pulling out of you. Even I think that you even realizing within yourself.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like you're.
I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yes, and this is really good. And one thing that stuck out so far that you said was that you were a dreamer. I wanted to ask you, are you still dreaming of doing some more things? Like, tell us some of your dreams that you have.
I guess
Some
my
of your
goal
goals.
ultimately is to have like a healing center where you can come in and get whatever you need, one-stop shop, right? If like you want to come and do a sound bath and have like sound healing done, you can do that.
Wow.
You want to go do some yoga, you could do that. You need to talk to somebody, you can talk to somebody. You
have a massage therapist there too?
Yeah, I want to do it all. I want to have like a center where it's like one-stop shop. You come in, you can get massage, you can get Reiki, you can do yoga, you can get counseling, you can get like a juice bar or, you know, like just, you know, healing foods and things like that. Nutritionists, like I want it to kind of just be just one-stop shop, like holistically. So that's the dream.
So are you working on that dream?
Yeah, well, I gotta take the test first. Girl, the steps to this.
The steps to the dream. No,
The steps to the dream. I'm very clear on the dream. But
Okay.
there's steps.
And
so right
that's-
now it's study, take this exam, pass the exam, wait for the paper to come in the mail so that your license get paneled on insurances so that you can make some money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's like, then I go from there, you know.
So do you plan on opening your own practice?
Yes, I do. I feel like I'm kind of doing that. I mean,
Okay.
because my office is my own office.
Okay.
So I do have a supervisor that I do work with.
Right.
But she's 100% virtual, you know.
Okay.
So
She looking for any virtual remote?
yes, we are.
Okay, I'm applying as of today. You applying too?
She said no, she don't want
that's
to
right.
go.
She's
I don't do adults.
Yeah.
No,
so
ma'am.
so like
Okay.
so
No, I
it is
can't.
kind of like, you know, so I am working underneath her, but like the office
Okay.
is like it's my office in my name. I pay the rent and you know,
Wow.
decorated it and all that.
So can we do on site interview?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is April.
Yes.
I could do remote hours only. I have 2 kids at home. So you run it. If it's remote, you make it. And you're my boss now. So hey, I do have time now.
No, you don't.
Oh my goodness! But if any therapists out there that need that have the limited permit and looking for a space, I don't know if you want to share your organization that you work with, or maybe they can hit you up offline. What's your handle?
Yes.
What's your handle? So
Put it in the show notes.
yeah, put it in the show notes. I'm gonna put the handles in the show notes.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yes.
You know, I
So
really like
if you
looking.
if you guys want to if you're a therapist, if you just finished school, if you need to do some hours, 3,000 hours is a lot of hours, but
It's a lot of hours.
she's running the show and she will hire you if you're good. Yes.
Yeah, we will vet you. We will vet you.
Yes. So what are the requirements? Like, what do they need to like?
Girl, I don't know. I'm focused on taking this exam. I don't know.
Right. Okay. The steps. Yes. So.
I gotta get the exam. After that, you know,
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll probably have a way more information. Like I'll be
Okay.
clearer. Okay, like this is what we need. You know, but I'm definitely, me and my supervisor, like we're more holistic.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, not that we don't do like CBT and all this stuff. We do all of this. But like it's just a different perspective, you know, like energy. Because I do believe in like the mind-body connection. You know, so you could be having digestive issues because, you know, the solar plexus is your power center
Right.
energetically, and you're not living out in your power, but you got digestive issues, and you're like, oh,
Right.
I don't know what's wrong. You know, I don't know what's wrong. I keep getting sore throats, and I'm like, because you don't speak up.
Speak up. Now.
You know.
So I'm going to ask you a personal question. You might not
Sure.
answer the question.
Okay, so like I have the opportunity to be like pass.
Yes, and be like,
You have choices.
yeah, you have choices. We established that tonight, guys. You have choices. You don't have to answer everything. You can say now or say just keep it going. So this is for my fellas that might be listening.
Okay.
Are you single?
Oh my God, what does this have to do with it?
Because we know that you are busy. We're going to give your handles and they may hit you up. So
You are a person outside of being a
yes,
therapist.
exactly.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yes, I am.
okay, so
I am single, but I don't want to be toxic. If they hit
fellas.
me up on like social media, like I feel
That's
like,
toxic to you?
No, well, I'm gonna be like block. Like I won't even give it.
what
up.
if they say I saw
I
the
don't know.
council?
I have a hard thing with this whole like social media thing. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like they have to like meet me at the Trader Joe's parking lot. Like,
You said the church parking lot?
Trader Joe's.
So why Trader Joe's of all places?
That's where I
Because
go.
that's where she holistically
okay.
shops for food. So that means you healthy.
Okay, all right.
Just like I was all that healthy, you know, because I be getting the chips and stuff. So I don't know.
But I feel
Okay.
like social media is the way of the future now.
Right, especially for therapists.
Yeah.
It is. I feel like, so here's the thing. I feel like maybe this is possibly just like my own trauma from past experience. You know, like online dating. It's just, it is horrific out there. So it's
Right.
not that I haven't tried it. I've tried
Okay.
it and I do not have the bandwidth. Like I am like, what is this?
Right. So the question was asked only because if somebody was watching, they were interested,
Yes.
and they see the workload, and they wanted to just, just kind of send some love your way, but, she's not interested, guys.
So April is this type of person that likes
Yes.
to.
Matchmaker?
No, she likes to project. April
Yes.
wants us all to be happy
Yes,
and married
happy
with
in love.
2.5
But
kids.
who said I'm not happy?
That's
I never
April.
said that.
Oh, okay.
But that's what April wants.
Oh,
She
okay.
wants us
Yeah,
to
so
have
just-
companionship and
Yes,
to be to
just-
live our best
I
fulfilled
am
life.
open to companionship.
Okay. All right. So she's happy, guys. She's thriving. She's getting ready to study for her test. So if you are interested, if you do try to hit up,
Flashcards.
yes, email me, and
April,
yes.
we will vet this out.
Yes,
Do not
exactly.
DM
She's
Trader Joe's to pull up at.
me. Do not DM me. And I will be like, who is this person? Block. I don't know this person.
Oh my goodness, that was funny. I just wanted us to laugh a little bit, so that was just a
Yes.
little.
No, that's cool. That's
Yes,
cool.
all
Yeah,
right.
so you guys can email April.
Yes.
And we will be in contact.
Because you never know, somebody could be watching like,
I
oh,
post. I'm
yeah,
not
like, is she? So she is single, guys. If anyone is interested,
okay.
She's like, in case you didn't hear
yeah, my friend is single. Okay, guys. Yes, she about to have her own Reiki shop and all this stuff. Billionaire in the making. So I want to get into your grad school experience.
God, trauma.
So I want you to tell us, now this question is geared towards those that might just be jumping into the field of mental health.
Like for going into the program?
Yes, like any program, any mental health, like if they see themselves becoming a mental health therapist, can you share your experience, what that looked like?
Oh my God, it was horrific. But that's just because I also, like this was my second master's. So
Tell us,
I was
okay.
older, so I'm older. I had to work full time, who's gonna pay the rent, right? So it just gets harder when you have all these other responsibilities.
Right.
So it was just a struggle, to work full time, to go to class full time after working, trying to retain information.
Child, I know.
And then once you got to the internship, I almost died. I fainted, exhaustion, poor sleep. I definitely had periods of narcolepsy, just ready to fall asleep, at work. You know what I mean? It was really hard because it requires a lot of time. So I don't want to say I would discourage people because I don't discourage you. I want people to make sure that they are clear about what they want to do. Because a lot of people go to school just because they think they should be going to school. And I'm like, there are TikTokers making way more money than I make
Listen.
dancing.
Listen.
And like mediocre dancing at that. So
Listen.
do not do this and get into all this debt if this is not something you're passionate about and that you want to do. That would be like my only advice. And don't think that this is going to be easy breezy, because it's not. And especially just the field, right? The mental health field. We learned a lot of stuff. So I'm sure stuff came up for y'all, yay, nay. Because I remember being in a grief class with June. And she was like, okay, let's practice. Let's do a little role play, right? And she's like, come up with a scenario. And I came up with like, I don't know. I was just, like, it was kind of true, but like a little bit. I was like, I don't know. I just get so annoyed about whatever, like this person and whatever. And I don't know how she had got me. I was like, I am about to burst into tears. And this was supposed to be practice.
Yeah,
What
no.
is this? So, you know what I mean? Like, so things are going to come up for you. There's no, like, just going into this, like, unscathed, I
Right.
feel.
Yeah.
You know, we had to do so many, like, practice role plays and videotaping, you know, people.
I remember that. That was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah, that was a
So,
lot.
you know, just be sure that you want it. You know, I think that's the only thing I have, but also, like, I had to work. I think it's easier, you know, I guess when you're a little bit younger, maybe if you don't have responsibilities, kids. I don't know how you did it. You got a whole husband, 2 kids.
I still don't know.
I don't know.
I still don't know.
I got a whole myself, and I was hanging on by a thread.
I always tell people this. I still don't know how I did it. I don't know. And I went back again. I do not know. I really,
Glad for punishment.
for the life of me, but I have to say it's rewarding for where I sit today, but I don't know how I did it. I got it done. Like, I'm just like, and then to have y'all in my life, to be connected, like I have a picture of the 4 of us that we took in the class.
I have it on my dresser.
I look at that picture every single day. Like, I looked at it before we came here, and I'm like, I should have brought it with me. And I'm like, because of y'all, like, y'all really kept me going into becoming who I am today. Like, seriously.
Yes.
Like, the motivation in that classroom with Dr. June when we had our Popeyes and our fruits and, you know.
Oh my God. It was
I tell people about that all the
That
time.
4-hour class.
me too. I talk about it too.
All the time.
What do you
I'm
think
like,
about
you don't
that
even
class?
understand.
Just the 4 of us.
I felt like it was a very emotional semester for me. I mean, I'm a very emotional person in general. But like, it was very monumental and impactful for me. Even if I didn't like say it, right? Like, I was just like, you know, okay, I bought this over, whatever, doing the class. But it really was, because this was like, especially for me, this was like, I grew up in a lot of like white spaces, right? And being like this token black person, or not black enough because apparently I talk white, or
I got that too.
Yeah,
What is
like,
that? We talk
I
white.
don't know.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm like, because I don't think I sound like Callie.
People say I talk white all the time. I thought it was just me.
No. Just
And this is my natural voice. I'm like, how do y'all want me to talk?
I don't know, girl. I don't know. So, you know, so growing up in like all these white spaces, and then just, you know, as a black person, and then as a black woman, of just like having, you know, this like narrative, but also like there's truth to that narrative. Like, you got to work 10 times harder than, you know,
Yeah, that's good. Olivia Pope said it.
you know, than the opposite, right? So growing up in all like white spaces, and then like people, even in college, like my undergrad experience, having professors literally ask me to like speak on the whole like black race, as if I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what that means. Or like, well, you know, in a single parent home, I'm like, I can't speak to that.
Right.
I grew up in a 2-parent home, so I don't like. So do you just think all white? Like,
Right.
You know what
It's
I mean?
crazy.
And it's just so going through experiences like this, to sit in a classroom at like, you know, it is a predominantly white institution.
No, not like a predominantly white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what are the odds? The 4 of us. Yo, in that class. It was weird to me.
No, God said that we
Literally.
needed
But we
that.
got that
is what
That's what it was.
really,
Yes.
like, it really,
Yes.
it rocked me
Yes.
in a way
Yes.
that, like, maybe I've never just talked about it, but then to sit there and there was a lot of different, like, there was a lot of different things for that experience, particularly for me, which where it's like, wow. I'm like, really? We got, is this all the black women? right? Like,
It just make sense. And the one black teacher. And the one black teacher. It just made
no way. Like, I remember the first day when
we were like,
I thought I was walking into the wrong classroom. I swear. I walked in and I was like, what?
And she was like, yes.
I in a class before.
Yes.
And then I was
And
like,
Dr.
well,
Jim was like, we're waiting on one more. And I remember who was last.
I
I think it
was
was
like-
Tammy. And
I was
you were like,
like,
this is it?
Yeah, this is crazy.
is there more people? And then I'm just sitting here and I'm like,
No, this is it.
shit. And she started with the syllabus and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, okay. And as the weeks like went on, different things were like, I don't know, like unlocking for me based on my own shit, right? Like where it was like, wow, okay. All these black women, okay. And we smart and we learning. And then we being taught by this black woman. And she was hard on us.
Yes.
Maybe for me, I felt like, yo, that's when I
And I feel like you always in the feelings. No, I feel like you always like, well, you know, Dr. June, I just don't think. She had Shay again. Oh my God.
Because y'all was coming for my neck. I was like, why you so mean on teacher? And then I started calling her on June. I was like, you know, because it was just getting too much. But it was, I could tell that there was like this energy of, and I mean, listen, I am that way. I am that way. I'm like that in general, so I'm not gonna stop that because that's authentic to who I am. But like, I still appreciated it, and I could tell, like, I felt like there was this like love and real like fucks given. Like she was like, oh, I really give a fuck about this. I've taken other classes. With her.
Yeah.
Not that she don't give a fuck, but it's just very different than what she
No,
was doing.
she was
What
there.
she was doing.
She
with
was pouring into us.
She was pouring in, and like for that, I will always be grateful. And then there was a part of like, wow, like, because this is another narrative that I've had of being like, oh, I'm kind of like the only plus size person and trying to be, you know, that also was healing for me. Where it's like, look at us beautiful.
Have you seen how gorgeous you are, girl?
But the same for y'all. So it felt like, so for me, it was like, oh, we here. We here. Even when she was like, don't eat those Popeyes. And I was like,
She's like, chicken's bad for you, don't eat no chicken.
I'm hungry.
Why she get her little nuts in her face? She knows she wanted chicken. Dr. June, we love you, but we know you want just a piece of the chicken. We know.
knew she was hungry.
Shout out to Dr. June. We love you so much, Dr. June.
So it was very just healing. And then I think when it was towards the end, or maybe the last class, and when she actually
She said it, yes.
she was like, this is fucking unprecedented in my history.
Yep.
Tears.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, like in her history, right? And I think about like just as women, as black people, right? Like never, like she probably never in her wildest mind thought like I would have a class of all black
Women.
Woman. Yep.
right? And I was like, wow, I got to be
Yes.
oh man,
Yes.
like it was just I loved it.
Yes.
I loved
Yes.
it.
And it wasn't, and like I actually was telling I have a social work intern that works with me, and I was telling her, I was like, that class, I was like, God knew at that moment in time that we all needed that class. And she's like, was it a cultural class? I was like, no, it was literally like practicum. Like, I was like, a class that everyone had to take.
Oh, it wasn't internship?
No, it was practicum.
It wasn't pre-practicum, right?
No, it wasn't it was practicum.
Okay.
I was like, it's a class that everybody had to take, and I was like, and just by like the chances of God, I was like,
Divine
the four of
design,
us,
yes,
and I was like,
yes.
and we had conversations in that class that we could not
Never
have
had everywhere else.
Like I was like,
we drew a bond. We had a bond.
feelings that we like were able to be like, so we the only ones that feel like we're not supposed to be here. And even little things, like even when we brought in food, like over Thanksgiving, I saw something that was like, Black people don't let, or no, it was like, white people don't let it confuse you. We're not celebrating pilgrims. We don't give a shit about pilgrims. Black people and Black customs are celebrating food and being together. And I was like, even that, like, nobody told us, but that's just what we're gonna do. We're gonna eat, because we're not gonna be here for 4 hours and be hungry. 4 hours like, we're gonna eat.
Yes.
And
4 to
be here.
6, right? 4 to 8. 4 to 8. 4 to 8.
It was nighttime.
It was 4 to 8.
That's a long class.
And
Why
like
does that
just
take
that,
so
like,
long?
because it was practicum. And it was just like, no, we're gonna be here.
Just think about like this. I was doing
in
some
that
crazy
space.
stuff. Wow.
Yeah, no, and like, and just to know that, like, and then for the world to again line up to the point that, you know, me and you graduated with our school counseling masters, and a year early the pandemic shut down graduation, and then for us all to meet up again at graduation by the grace of God, it was like just like a line. Like I had those two pictures right on my dress. I'm like, I don't even understand.
I wasn't even gonna go to graduation.
Really?
Yeah, my parents they told me about it. They felt like I robbed them of my first master's graduation because I didn't go to that one. I was like, well, we went to the bachelor's. It's all the same.
No, it's different.
Your price went up.
Your
price went up.
I'm like, oh, I actually like this one.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right.
Your
The
price went up.
Okay.
No, that was crazy. My mom laughs about it even ever to today. We have a picture where we're all throwing up 2 fingers. Like everyone in this picture has 2 masters. Like not only do we have one, but we have 2 plus. Like Tammy has 3. Like what?
She has 3. She does have 3
because she had one when we started. She got the school counseling one.
She's another busy one. She's busy too.
I
know.
Yeah,
She
was busy in the program.
Yes.
I was like, how are you here? How are you doing this?
Shout out to Tammy. She's gonna be here next time, but we don't know when. But we love you, Tammy.
No,
And
and then just that like bond that I've had, you know, like I know we had the school counseling group that we all kind of just like fell off, and we were like, whatever, because you know the Caucasian people, they got their jobs, and we were like, you don't deserve them, but we're gonna let you live. We're gonna let you live, you know. So that kind of
was like, you find anything yet?
I was like, yes, like it was wild, like wow.
It's like
these white kids.
counseling is like the Hunger Gang. I promise you. It's like
I believe you.
It's like the Hunger.
So it's like
the
one.
hood.
It's one school counselor per school.
It's
or
about
is
2
it
or
like
3
per district?
It depends on the student
depends on-
body.
yeah.
So if it's like 2,000 students, they probably have 10. If there's like what you have 300. in
I have
school?
300 plus.
So she's the only one in her school. So it all depends.
So you got to
on-
manage 300 people? See, this is why I cannot.
But 300 kids don't have problems. You get me? So I
Right.
see the same maybe 20 kids
Right.
every week.
Right.
But if there's a crisis, I have to be available.
Yeah.
Like, and I have to be available for all types of crises.
I think that's what I don't like.
No, but it's
I
fun.
have to be available. I just
No,
like
but
to-
it's
Right.
but it's fun. Like I had
Yeah.
a kid go out
It is
not this
fun.
week,
It
last
is fun.
week. She collapsed in the bathroom, and I'm all up in there. I'm like, what happened? And they were like, you go ride on the ambulance, and I'm listening to the paramedics, and they was like, we think she took something. Did she take something? I was like, I don't know. And then like the parents were like, she didn't take nothing, and only for her tox screen to come back. I was like, damn. You're gonna have to go to rehab, little girl, like in my head, but then when
Right.
she, you know, like I can't, like, so that stuff is fun to me, like,
Right.
But see, I feel the same way.
It's so
about therapy when they come in and they be like, "Ooh, girl, let me tell you." I'm like, "Ooh, did you do it? Was it good?" And they're like, "Horrible." I'm like, "Oh no, oh man." But anyways, I have a date with another one. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. Like I don't know. I feel the same way,
Yeah.
but I just the kids. I'm like, it feels like more pressure.
it's
I
not
think to me.
It's not, and the kids, like, they love you, like, my kid, I was out this past week because I was sick, and I have emails from kids like, Miss Whithorn, are you okay? I'm like, I'm minding my black business in my bed.
With my baby.
With my baby. But in my head, I'm like, oh, you noticed that I wasn't there? Because I don't think I've ever had a connection with an employee in a school that I'm
Yes.
like, when I was going to school, I'd be like, I don't care if you're here not for a week. I don't know you, fool.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because I never had...
I think that's fulfilling. I
I've
think
never
it's
had
beautiful.
black counselors. I've never.
did.
Me neither.
Nope. And my school is 100% minority. So my kids are like,
I've never seen a black counselor.
yeah, I've never had a black counselor. We've never done that. My first like black female teacher was my third year in my bachelor's.
Wow.
And then I didn't have, my third year in my bachelor's, I had one sociology professor.
Wow.
And then, and I still talk to her to this day. Like, she's in my phone as Auntie Joyner. Like, she sends my kid Christmas presents. Like, and then I had June, and that's it for my whole career. To be, you know, to have 2 masters, have a bachelor's, be a pharmacy tech, like, have all that and not have any.
You a pharmacy tech too?
Oh, yeah, baby girl.
Hold on, let's get into that. Pharmacy tech. You did that too?
I did that in high school.
Wow.
I went to both seasons. I was a pharmacy tech. I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You went. Okay.
Oh, I did. Yeah, y'all talking about me.
Hello. You got like 15 businesses. You got all
do.
these other things. I don't know. Y'all just, I don't know.
But I'm looking to hire people now. I'm tired of like running. You know when you're like trying to run everything. Like I need to hire somebody to do Zumba, somebody to do that, somebody to run my t-shirt, somebody to. I need to hire people now, but I need the money. I need some investors. If you want to invest in me,
We're putting this out in the atmosphere.
Yes.
We're putting it out in the atmosphere.
some investors.
Sponsors, any sponsors?
Yes. So this was a phenomenal night. Like
I had a great time.
I feel like crying because I feel like the bond that we had, even going back to just talking about our class and where we are today, and just to see like there's so much more that's going to be out of us and how we're going to change people's lives. But also in the midst of that, you're still thriving, you're thriving, I'm thriving, Tammy's thriving.
And
like,
we're thriving together. Like,
Yes.
even though we don't talk every day,
Right.
I know that I'm like tearing up.
I know,
that
that's
like
how I
I
feel
can
too.
text the 3 of you, and anytime I'd be like, you know, oh, don't make me cry. Like, you guys will show up, or even if you're not showing up, there's like well wishes, and it's not like. And there's never any jealousy between us. There's never any like, oh, you, all right, you got your little Reiki certification, whatever. There's never any of that. It's like, yeah, like, okay, whatever, we don't care. Like, you got client, but it's always like, anytime, like, you guys are always like positive, perky, like always just, and like that bond that I will never like be able to put into words how appreciative I am to have you guys like in my corner. Like, you know, even though I'm the baby, like I still feel like, you know, we're still on level playing fields, and like you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
And like
I feel the same. I feel the same about all of you guys. I'm always like, I'm like probably the worst one.
That's all right, Shay.
Yeah, because you know
I haven't seen her. We haven't seen her since graduation. Like, but that's how busy you are. That's how busy. But listen, you booked and busy. You booked and busy.
But I do. I feel honored, and I think what really like lights my heart is like to just know like I legit know 4 black female therapists. Cause I'm telling you, it's a hot commodity. I can't even take nobody else, and everybody I see. I mean, majority of my caseload is all diverse people, Spanish, Black, like that's the majority. And then I'm like, okay, what, you know, when they reach out and stuff, and they're like, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And those are the people that still keep reaching out. I'm like, I really can't take, do you have anybody else? And I'm like, oh, I have other, you know, people we went to school with,
Right.
or, you know, and then they're like, well, are they black? And I'm like, shh.
no.
And then I'm like, well, she don't like adults. She in the school. And I was like, you stopped. And I was like, are you back? I'm like, what's your psychology? Because I'm sending them.
I'm back, but I'm not back.
I'm sending them,
No, I
you know,
can't
because it matters. Like, representation matters. And there is just something about, you know, I just feel like, you
Seeing
know,
yourself.
seeing yourself. You get
And
the
then you
most
don't have
served.
to explain yourself.
You don't have to explain, right?
Right.
And so
Dynamics.
you guys matter too. I mean, it's impactful. I think I just feel honored because I'm like, yo, I'll name on some names. And it's like, let me go to my group chat. Here it is. Is it okay if I give out your contact? You know, so I feel blessed to be able to have, you know, cross paths with you ladies, you know.
Yes. It's an honor.
Yeah.
It's truly an honor. Like, you
Same.
ladies do not know, like, how I feel, because, like the question you asked earlier, who were you before the world told you who you were? Like, I never thought I would be sitting here with you two ladies today.
Same. I can't
Doing
believe
this.
I can't believe you got me on something that's actually gonna be like out in the world. I'm like, I can't even. But it's like yes, I'm coming because it's like I'm coming for y'all. But like, let this be me. I'd be like, no, thank you.
But this is the start of what you wanted to do too.
I know.
So why? But you know what I started doing, because as I'm trying to brand this, what Counselors Connect, because y'all know I do 1,000,001 things. I know y'all tired of me, but I'm gonna keep going anyway.
You are blessed.
Yes, all the stuff. Blessed Girl Season. Get to it.
And I've been trying to support, and I'm like, I don't have all those coins, April.
I have a new thing that I'm gonna do. Yes. But I'm gonna use y'all on this too. It's worthy, but it's just to help young girls. It's a mentoring program that I want to start. It's called Worthy. So, but again, talking about me not being worthy, self-esteem, that all it's all attached to it. So everything I do is attached to who I was. So again, you wanted to start a podcast. Like, this is your beginning night of your podcast. So she's looking like
I am a guest.
but if there's something that you felt that God led in your heart to do, then start one, do one. Because there's 1,000,000 people out there that need to hear from you.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There's someone, I won't mention names, but that we went to school with, that started a page on Facebook, and I try to subscribe, like, and follow. So I did something, and I was like, this is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Like, this is like generic counseling bullshit. Like, you know, it was just very, like, I was like, okay. But then the person had over like 3,000 followers, and I was like, okay. But
Dang, I'm only at 15. Yeah. Listen, y'all like it, subscribe today, okay? That's what I'm like.
I'm sure, you know, if there was more, like you said, representation. I call you all the time, like, you don't have no space for nobody. Okay, nobody, never mind. Yeah, I'm like, you don't. Okay, cool, never mind. I forget it. But there's that big like thing to see.
Yes, it is. It
yourself.
Yeah.
In the world, you know, and you know, as we talk about, you know, Black females, like, it's even worse for Black boys. Now that I have a son, I'm like, well, damn, like, he don't even got nobody to look at. I'm like,
That's true.
Yeah, no,
I don't really see any Black male therapists.
It's
a few. It's a few of them.
I know one.
And that's just because
Wow.
I saw scrolling on Psychologist.
Yeah, it's
I was like, oh, there's somebody, because when I can't,
Yeah, think about it.
you know, when I can't take
Wow.
So think about it. If your son needs to go to therapy, who does he look to as a Black man to be
Wow, I've never thought about
But that's
that.
a lot of Black male,
But you're
favorite.
Yeah, but as a woman, like, yeah, of course we're always gonna be here.
Right.
But like, as a man, like, it's
True.
so you know.
So I gotta look for
Black men,
a
you
Black
guys
male
never
therapist
know.
to interview, because I've never seen one.
I have a Black male therapist, and he called me out of my bullshit the other day. He's like, "So you're toxic?" I was like, "But I'm not." I was like, "But listen to why I'm toxic."
Listen,
Deflection.
Yeah. I was like, "But understand how my toxicity makes sense." But no, like, literally, and I sought him out originally for my husband, and then my husband was like, "I don't want to talk to that man." And I was like, but for his own reasons, he was like, "No, find me somebody else." And I was like, "All right, because you got daddy." He has daddy.
what was his reasons now?
Daddy issues, so he's like, he gonna try to talk to me like he's my dad, and I was like, he's not. But okay, whatever. So I started seeing him, and like, he'll call me out on my shit, and I'm like, okay, well, okay, sir, you know, but I'm looking at it.
Being like the therapist being therapized.
Yeah, and I'm like, sir, but I got a degree too. I know. Like, don't.
I see what you're doing there.
I'm like, exactly. And I'm like, don't. But listen to my explanation as to why. And he's like, no, but you're toxic. And I'm like,
So y'all didn't do group, y'all didn't do like marriage therapy?
so we did one time, and whoever's a marriage therapist, whoever goes into that, have fun with that. Yeah. Oh,
That is too much. It's too much. I
I
did one couple session and I was like,
That's it.
never again.
I think if
I
you're
was
gonna
like,
do
I think it would be best that you both do individual
Yeah, if you do
therapy,
couples,
and then
then-
I immediately took couples right off my
No, it's a lot. So we did do it, and then it didn't go the way I thought it was supposed to go, because I was explaining to the therapist like who my husband is, and he was like, "Stop telling me." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm not gonna tell you nothing in the beginning, so because I'm trying to explain to you, my husband's very quiet, so I was trying to explain like, oh, but this is why
the
he
therapist
is.
told you don't stop telling me?
Yeah,
Oh.
because he's asking questions, and I'm like, oh, but because he grew up, he's like, why are you talking to me? And I was like, sir, I'm trying to explain to you
He's a good
why he's like
therapist.
this. He's like, let him explain. I was like, oh, but he's not going to, because he doesn't do that. And so I was like, we're not going to do this
And
again.
you're like, next.
Yeah, so we're looking for a new one, but
Okay.
no, marriage therapy is whoever does that.
Kudos
All
to
right.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I can do family therapy, but not marriage, because
No, I don't want to see I don't want to see more than one person. No.
Yeah.
It's
Families
a
could be a lot.
big challenge to hold space
Yeah.
as one person for that many people, and then it start getting a
Yeah.
rise, and I'm like, okay. It just,
Bring it down.
Yeah, I did have to do that. I was like, okay, what? I need you to stop this right now. Okay, deep breath, and then I was like, I wanted to run out the room. I was like, you cannot leave this chair. And I was like,
that's
so
it.
yeah, my recommendation, you both should work on things
Yeah.
individually, and then,
Yeah, come together.
come
When
together
you got
with
it together.
someone who
That's not
does
me.
that.
Yes, because this is not for me.
And I was like, yeah, no, delete.
Off my list.
Yeah.
But you're doing it, Shay. You're killing
Yes,
the
you're
game.
killing the game.
So are you guys.
Yes.
So what are your goals?
Sheesh.
You know when people ask that, I'm like, Dad, what is my goal?
Goals. So short term, in the next, we'll make it cute, 5 years,
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to have my PhD.
Come on now.
Yeah. I think once I get that, everybody's like, oh, you're gonna go back for another one. I was like, I'd rather,
Another PhD?
because everyone think, in my family, everyone's like, you don't stop. Because that's always been my thing.
No.
Hello. Monifa's family, she's not, that's too much.
How many do you need?
For me, I think I need one, but in my family said, they're like, you're not gonna stop. You're not going to be sad. But because I'm not that person. Like, I took a year off
Does your
school.
family have 2 PhDs?
No, I would be the first one in my family to have a PhD.
So why do you need another one?
Because not that I need another one, I just
This
am
might
not.
be another podcast.
Yes. Stay tuned, because this is, I didn't even know she was going for another.
No, if I'm the type of person.
Yeah, I'm not joining that bandwagon. I'm
Yeah.
jumping off.
If I'm not, and maybe after I finish it, I'll find something else. But if I'm not learning, like, and I mean like in a educational setting,
Right.
I don't feel complete. Like, my whole life has always been balancing school, work, family. I took 1 year off of college and almost lost my whole mind. Like, I was like, so people just work every day? Like, they don't have deadlines? They don't have assignments and papers? Like, y'all just live here? Like, y'all just have free time to hang out? Like, I was...
Girl, you are so lucky. I can't get you on my couch. I am like,
No, but like, for me, it was like strange. I was like, so you don't have no deadlines? Like, y'all just be here every day? Like there, in my mind, like, my mind is so programmed to being like, okay, well, September, the semester starts. The second week of December, the semester ends. You have a break. Like, I've already programmed my mind to that already, and it's been like that for so long. I feel like pulling away from that is going to be so hard for me. But by then, I'll probably have another kid. So maybe I'll be
I was
like,
gonna say, like,
yeah, maybe this is all hopes and
this
dreams
is
now.
coming from somebody who also is addicted to knowledge. I'm like, girl, you could just read a book.
No, and I do that.
Right.
I do read, but I just feel like school gives me structure. Like, school and learning.
you want structure? Come from the house, let me give you some structure.
Like, it gives me structure. It gives me like a sense of like outside. Like, I just don't feel like I'm meant. If I could get paid to go to college, I would do that. Like if
There's people that actually
I would do that.
You
I
can do
would.
people's schoolwork, you know.
I've done that in the past, but I don't feel like I am that person because I feel like I'm not learning anything. I'm just doing it to do it, and I can do it.
All right, so when I'm going for my admin, I'll give you my schoolwork to do.
All right.
I'm doing someone's NP for them right now. Like,
Excuse me?
doing their papers.
On top of your PhD work?
Oh yeah.
This girl with the whole thing.
What is this brain?
I don't know.
It's just deadlines and just that.
When
Like,
do you sleep?
Yeah.
I don't hear no sleep.
I sleep.
When?
I sleep all the time.
When?
I sleep from 10 o'clock
So you work
to
at
6.
the crack ass 6.
All right, now we're going into therapy session, all right? Therapy 101. All right, go ahead, Shay.
When do you sleep?
From 10 to 6.
Okay, you
10 to
just
5.
told me 10 to 5.
Yeah. Because I wake up like 5:30 to go to work.
Right. Okay. So 5:30 till 10. How many hours is girl? I can't.
But she's at work. But she's at work
So
from
she
5:30 to 6 p.m. She's at work. So when you come home, you do schoolwork.
No. So,
Right with the baby. With the baby.
no. So,
She's like, yeah, answer this.
She's like the baby.
Right.
Answer this. Stop pictures like that.
Why are you yelling at your husband? Listen, we gonna.
No. I, as bad as it sounds, like when I'm at work, the way that my work environment is set up, I can pull 2-3 hours or 4 hours out of my day to do schoolwork. So I pull 3 hours and say, for these 3 hours, I'm not doing anything else but schoolwork. Or I'll do everything that I need to do for the week, Monday through Wednesday. So I know Thursday and Friday, I'm just BSing and doing what I need to do for Monifa. Or doing my other counseling job, my other tutoring job. And
you tutoring another job?
Let me get $1.
school.
Let me hold $1. She's over here buying Hawaiian punch.
Y'all make it,
And a new husband.
y'all make it sound much more than
You
what
got a
it is.
little human to keep alive. Girl, I be struggling with my plants. Like, did I water you? How are you?
But he just falls into the mix. Like, this is literally like, this is just what it's been. When I was pregnant, school. Boom. I think the only assignment that I haven't turned in was the day I gave birth to him, because it was a Sunday. And I didn't do it. And I was like, damn. And they were like, do you want an extension? I was like, no, I'm just not going to do
I would
it.
have been like, yes, invalid. I just birthed a human. Yes, please.
I mean, I just let the assignment go. But because that's who I am as a person, it's not a stressful
So
thing
you're
to
gonna
me.
be in school. Your goal is to be in
The rest
school
of her life, basically.
No.
life.
In my mind, I might go back for another PhD. Maybe not, depending on if I have another kid. If I have another kid.
How do those letters go?
Huh?
How does those letters go behind your name?
So
So
right.
it's gonna be okay.
No, so right now
so
we're at BA, MS, MA, and then it'll be PhD at the end.
and then you get a second one. Is it a PhD?
No.
A PhD squared.
Nope, just PhD. Once you have one doctorate, you're just a doctor.
So then why do you need another one?
Oh, it's gonna be I'm the it, and that's it. I'm the it. That's it, guys.
Because just to say you have it. And I think
Is your pay gonna go up with 2 doctorates?
but it's not that for me.
I'm only doing it for the pay. Listen, I
See,
would.
that's not what
because-
the PhD comes from, and that's not what. Maybe that's why education doesn't and school doesn't seem as stressful for me, because it's not like I have to do this to get paid. For me, it's literally like
it's for me.
I
I need the check. Listen, I need the check.
I see where like my family came from, and like I go back. You guys know I go to Jamaica every 5 minutes. I see where they came from, and for me to even like to have the ability to say I want 1 PhD, much less 2 PhDs.
That's true, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like when my great grandmother couldn't read, like that to me is like,
Dang, she put me
well,
to shame.
damn. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'll go
my
back
great grandmother
there.
could not read. So for me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
for
true.
me to even have the ability to do that, there's no reason why I can't.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more like I'm going to be like, I have a shirt that says I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. Like that's me. Everything. Like,
And you know what? As you say that, because my background is Jamaica man too, and my dad actually was just sharing the other day that my grandmother worked 2 jobs, 8 a.m. to like 4 and then 4 to 12, and I'm like, how did my grandmother sleep for 25 years?
and look at you. You live in this beautiful complex
So that makes
with your
sense.
own office.
What you're saying,
selling shirts.
what she's saying makes sense, and I'm like, you know what? If you want to do it, me and Shay, Tammy, we got your back. Just text us. No,
I
give me a day off.
think it's extreme.
It is.
I'm concerned about your physical well-being.
And and that's the truth.
Like, because really, like, how do you keep your spirit rejuvenated when you are expending so much energy in the work that we do? It's a big energetic exchange. When are you sleeping? Is it restful sleep? Are you hydrated? You see what I'm saying? Like,
And that
I was
question-
thinking about all of these things.
Right.
I'm like, did you eat? Because listen, I almost fainted because I was just like, I just got too carried away, and I was like, look at
See,
this.
one thing about me, I'm gonna eat.
And that question that you just asked her goes for those that are listening, because there could be someone that's feeling like they got to do it all. Like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to have this, I got to have that, I'm this, and just don't feel like they can't stop. Not saying you can't stop, but you can stop.
You can say no.
You can say no and say, you know what? I know what Monifa said has volume,
It does.
but you can take a break.
You can take a
You
break.
can be that person to just don't have schoolwork for a year, just don't have no assignments. You don't have to do that.
So what I want to say
But you
to
could
this,
do that. But they don't have to do that.
What I want to say to you is, like, I admire that,
Yes.
right? Like, because you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, but on the same side of the coin, right? So if we look at just polarities, right? I feel like I'm on that opposite end because I am my ancestors' wildest dreams because we didn't get to rest. Now I have the ability to rest.
That's true.
We didn't get to know about nutrition. We had
Wow.
to eat scraps, but now I
This
can
is
make
so
the
good, guys.
choices to eat.
That's true.
Eat and nourish my
Definitely.
body. Like, when did you have time to actually do things of joy, right?
My friends are deep, y'all. They are deep.
So I do the things that bring me joy because I come from a line of women and ancestors that don't know what joy is.
Wow.
You see what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
And who knows what real rest is? And I'm like, oh, I'm a rest. I take naps. I will schedule naps in my workday.
You know what?
I'm taking a nap.
You know what's funny?
I'm taking
As
a
you
nap.
say that, I've never scheduled a nap, but as of today, I'm scheduling a nap.
It changed my life.
I
changed my life.
15 minutes.
Add a nap.
20 minutes.
Schedule a nap.
Girl, I'll be an hour sleep, knocked out.
Wow.
I used to do it, right? Because I am a hustler by nature, you know, very just, you know, like, you know, always had to, like, work in 3 jobs, in school, I did all of this. I'm just in a different season of my life where I'm like, bro, I'm not dying for nobody.
Right.
But myself. And once I left the other job and started doing this full time, I had time and space. I took a nap. I was a whole new human. I was like,
It's great. Trust me.
there is something to this.
I got
thing.
Am I the only one that don't take
I
naps?
got blankets, a pillow.
I am
I'm gonna
missing out,
right under
guys.
my bed. I'm gonna take a picture when I go in Monday.
Space
Yeah,
heater,
that's
if
sleep.
it's a little too chilly.
Yeah, no,
yes.
because you'd be surprised, like, especially the work that we do, like, by 12 o'clock, I'm done. My students have worn me out. They didn't ask me 5 million questions. I'm like, I'm gonna lock my door. Do not speak to me. Give me 20, maybe 45 minutes. And then when you wake back up, you're like, all right, cool. Wow.
I've
You
never
know.
taken naps, and I'm gonna start trying that. Wow.
No, you
as
do.
as of Monday, I'm gonna take a little.
Yeah, take a quick,
20-minute
nothing
nap.
crazy. Act like you in a meeting.
Yeah, you get a lunch break.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't do it on your lunch.
Why?
That's one thing. You're not supposed to and you notice when you're on lunch, especially, you know, if you're at school, you're supposed to leave the building.
Yeah.
Leave
take
the
a
building.
nap.
No, go eat.
In the car.
Go eat. No, eat. Go eat. Go relax. Go do something fun. Go get your nails done because that's also what.
Wait, on the lunch break?
Oh yeah, I
It
leave my
takes-
building.
How do you get your nails on your
They
lunch
take
break?
too long sometimes.
Well,
I might be running.
I'm not under
I know
those,
her schedule.
like, I'm not under the constrictions. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm not under like, oh, you gotta be back in an hour. As long as my work
I
is
only have
done.
half an hour. You're lucky.
Oh yeah, no. As long as my work is done.
Girl, I schedule such a half an hour breaks in between. I can't do back to backs because I'm just
Yeah,
like,
need
very
to.
sensitive to the energy and whatever. I need to clear it out.
Right.
Clear it out. Eat a snack.
Right.
I got my snack drawer.
Right.
Pee. Watch an episode of something. Like, no. Lay
Right.
down.
Right.
I can't. I don't know
I
how
need
you're
that.
doing this.
I need that. I need to schedule a nap as of Monday. I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes on
Let me
Monday.
know how it goes.
But my nap is a-okay. This was amazing. I feel like I'm trying to end, but I feel like we just keep talking. I feel like we're just trying to end. So we're going to end. I hope you guys really enjoyed Counselors Connect tonight. This was powerful. this was mind-blowing. The conversation was everything and more. I learned a few things about myself that I need to go see a therapist and go take some naps, and also that you don't have to do it all. Because I find sometimes that I'm trying to do a million things, not that I'm trying to keep up with social media because there's so much things going on, but I find like if I don't want to promote today, I'm not going to promote today. If I don't want to do this today or go back to school and do that, I'm not going to do that. So if you are watching this live and you feel like you just need to have it all and do it all and you just feel like you just can't, take a break. Take a moment, go pray, schedule with a therapist, Psychology Today. We have a great therapist here, Miss Shay. But she's booked. She's booked and blessed, baby. She's booked and blessed. And but if you really want to see a therapist, reach out because therapy is good for you.
And one thing about therapy that I think is a big misconception is you don't have to go in with a problem.
Yes.
A lot of people feel like your world has to be falling apart for you to be like, I'm gonna schedule. That's the worst time to schedule the session.
That's the worst.
Right.
When you're in the crisis.
And just a disclaimer, yeah, I'm gonna see a therapist. Not that I have a problem, just because I want to see what it looks like.
The work that you do, and it's like, you'd be surprised.
Right.
Just regular schmegular work that your counselor's giving you homework, and you're like, well, damn. Maybe I didn't recover when Johnny took my bear when I was 5 years old.
Right.
You ain't surprised. You know I am Johnny. That's why I don't let nobody hold my stuff now. Like,
You know that you say that? It's so true because I would never forget. This is a funny story. 4th grade. Because I love my birthday. Like my birthdays is just like my time when it's just me. I would never forget. I had a teacher in 4th grade. I love her dearly, Mrs. Jones. Her name was Mrs. Jones. And I told my parents to bring me, maybe it was 24 cupcakes. I think it was 24 kids in the class. They bought the cupcakes. Mind you, I was in 4th grade. She said, I told April she can't bring no cupcakes in this class. I will never forget that. So I think I need to see a therapist for that because I will not.
You'd be surprised.
Yes, so she told my parents. My parents brought the cupcakes to the class, and they had to bring the cupcakes back home.
See?
Look at you. See?
I held on to that. Right. And the fact that I still remember vividly.
That's unprocessed trauma, whatever it looks like.
Because I feel like I was in 4th grade. Like, why couldn't I celebrate my birthday in 4th grade?
Yeah.
And have those cupcakes that my parents went to BJ's and
that's fueled your, like, why your birthday needs to be so big.
I go all out. Like, my birthday's
like, Miss Jones, I'm going to eat these 24 cupcakes today. Now, tell me what I do. I want my cupcakes.
1 week a celebration. Ask my husband. We start like we already booked for my birthday already. Listen, we're not playing. Every year my birthday is like a holiday. I promise you. Thank you, Miss Jones.
But no, that's one thing that people feel like when you go to therapy, your world has to be falling apart and crumbling, and that's literally the worst time.
Right.
Because you're in such distress. You can't even, like, there's no clarity. So just being in therapy, like, in general, just gives you insight into yourself because it gives you someone who's not emotionally attached to your life. Not that the person doesn't care, but they're not someone that has ulterior motives. If you talk to your parents, they have their ulterior motives for your spouse. Not that they're bad, but they have their view on you. But outside person that literally has no weight in your life other than wanting to see you do good or wanting to see you progress into a better person, and having that to be like, all right, here we are today.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Therapies.
I think people have to should know that, like, I guess whatever the stigma or the images that they think therapy is about, it's so different now. And I tell people that, like, therapy is just a support. You tell me what you need it to be, right? I have some people where all we do is just bullshit about, oh, did you see this episode of whatever? Oh, I'm reading this spicy book, and oh, girl, you gotta do this. I tried this new edge control, and I'm like, oh, girl, your braids. Literally, we spend the whole time just doing that, and because she doesn't have anybody to talk to, she don't have nobody to talk to. So therapy is a support for her.
Right.
So. And then there's people that are really struggling, and then there's people that literally they were struggling, now they're doing good, and now they don't want to leave. So it could be whatever you need it to be. So I just feel like, just remember that it's like your opportunity to really show up as your fullest self in a place that's safe.
Yes. And therapy is not one size fits all.
No.
And don't get discouraged if the first therapist you meet is not the person for you. I remember I went to a therapist when I was, I want to say 16, 17, and this white man, I remember just sitting there like looking at him like, sir, you don't know nothing.
About nothing.
About nothing. And I remember just being like, well, I'm not doing that again. That was dumb. And like completely like shutting him out and like going into therapy and just giving you like bullshit answers because I felt like you would never understand what it's like to be me. So I'm not even gonna try to open up that piece of me. But you know, I think a lot of people go into therapy now and they're like, they're either looking for one of two things. They're looking for like a quick fix, like you're gonna go in 2 sessions and you're gonna be fixed. The only people that works for is insurance companies.
Yes, that's true.
Or, you know, they're looking for my therapist, the first therapist I try is gonna be the perfect person that's gonna understand everything and is gonna get it. Like, no, that's not how it works, because that's not how people work at all.
Yes.
So don't be discouraged if you don't get that first person. And, you know, even like sitting here, we each have our own different way of dealing with clients. You know, like I said, I refuse to work with adults. I'll give me the kids, love the babies. And I can be honest with children because I respect children for who they are and I love their situations. You know, for the same reason why you don't like kids, I love that kids don't have control over their situations. And most of their things that happen to them is because of other people. It's not them making dumbass decisions to put them in situations. Like, it's other people for now, you know? But, you know, for you, it's like, that's exactly why I don't want to work with them, you know. So you're like, I want to be with adults that I can be real and I can be honest and I can just lay it all out. With you, April, you're like, no, I'm the more prim and proper and polished, and I'm gonna give you what you think you need. I'm gonna give you that, like, and some people need that. Some people need to be in a setting where they're like, okay, you know what you're talking about,
Right?
Like, you know, some people feel like if you know, that's what I love about this.
Who was the teacher that like you always have to say, I hear you? Okay, yeah, I hear you.
You listened to one of my presentations and you were like, oh my God, you did so good. I was like, I looked up the information 15 minutes before.
She be killing it.
I'm the queen of bullshit. They be like, oh, you want to be booked to talk about bipolar depression in children? I was like, sure. 15 minutes before, looking it up.
I was like, so the Monifa just gonna talk until I don't know nothing that, and I think it look good. She be.
I'm the queen of that.
Yes. Anytime we had groups, I'm like, Monifa, you're my group. You're speaking.
I'm the queen. I make it sound real good.
She would have the projects done in like 2 minutes.
She was very.
I'm like, how are we doing this?
One project, but we had so many people.
Yeah.
And she.
Yeah, I'm
they
like,
just gave out the assignment. She made a.
She's like, oh, we're done, guys.
Group chat.
Yeah.
Here's the outline already. I was like, this girl is intense.
Yes.
Well, because it has to get done. We got to finish it.
I am the bullshitter. I will be like the day before, all night, not sleep. That's me. But I was like, oh my God.
But me, I'll chime in. Yeah, that was absolutely what you said. Is I'm like, yeah, Monifa, if you want, what you said there was perfect. Just keep adding that, and that's good.
I agree with what Monifa said when she said that.
Monifa said, whatever Monifa said is what is the answer. That's it. So, Shay, if there's any closing things that you want to share or talk or say to someone that's listening that you can inspire them.
Before we finish, I have a question for you.
Yes.
That now that we were talking about like our individual, and for you, April, individual like modes of working. What is your personal, if you had to give yourself a quote, what is your personal philosophy in your practice? So for me, again, because I work with children, it's be the person you needed as a child. And that's how I approach the kids that I see. So what is it for you?
I don't even know how to answer this. So what you're telling me
Like
is
your
that
personal philosophy.
you move through the world, like with your clients, trying to be who you needed for
Yes.
them.
No, for like as a child, I needed someone to listen to me and understand that even though I'm a child, I know what I'm talking about. So for me, when I sit in front of a child, I don't treat them as you're 12 years old. You don't know what the world is, or you don't know. So I give them what I needed. Like
Right.
I needed a person to be that for me when I was a kid. So I go into my clients and I go into my settings and be like, I'm gonna do that for you. Because that's what I needed. So I'm gonna give you that space to be like.
I feel like for me, it's seeing them with no judgments, none. And I'm naturally like not judgmental, so they literally can come in with anything.
So that would be on your wall. I see you with no judgments.
See you. I think I see you as the biggest part, and that's probably why I can't. Some of them don't leave. You know?
What about you?
Even though they're better. Like, you're healing, you're better, you're healing. And they're like, and I'm like, okay.
So for me, actually, this is a quote that I use in the bottom of my email when I send out to them counselors. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Because sometimes I feel like we don't want to change because, like, going back to what you said earlier, we don't see ourselves as no one, so we don't want to change. So be that change that you want to see in the world, and that's what I give them. The change that I've taken place in my life is what I want to see with them. So that's my quote that I always use, and
I love it.
yeah. This is great.
Yes.
It's
Great.
yes.
What were you asking me?
So
Any
final words, anything you want to say, and your closing remark will be the end of our
Okay.
show
For
today.
one, this was like such an honor. I had such a great time. Loved it. I'm like, yeah, we should do this again.
Yes,
I'll see you guys next year. See you next year. I'll see you at the baby's birthday party.
While she has her second PhD, maybe.
At the graduation.
Yes. But that girl, she did it.
No, I really did. I had a really good time, so I'm really honored. I think the thing that I would leave people with is that, like, therapy is fun, man. It's fun. Like, the clients have fun, I have fun, and it's whatever you make it. And that, I think the biggest thing to remember is that you have options, you have choice, and you can always choose to, like, redefine how you move in the world. You can change it at any time. Everybody's allowed to change their mind.
Wow. That was powerful. Hey. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful, I don't even know if we went from 45 to an hour, maybe 2 hours, but the conversation was real, so we couldn't cut it. I hope you guys watched the whole video to the end because there's a lot of great nuggets, a lot of great things that were shared. We love you guys for tuning in. Again, I don't know when the next one's gonna be. Maybe it's gonna be next year, might be next week, we don't know, but next year, because we're in 2022, next year, January 2023, so next year, in a month. So love you guys for tuning in, for supporting. Look out for more Counselor Connects. If you would like to be on Counselor Connect and you want to share your experiences, your goals, your dreams, whatever you're doing to inspire somebody else, please hit me up. My email is youarebeautifulinc1@gmail.com. You could send me a DM. You could write underneath this comments. Please like and subscribe. I love you guys. Counselors Connect.